Hi, this is Melanie of Pardesi Reviews, and I'm here to do a review of the Malayalam film Jaya 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 Hey. If you're new to Pardesi Reviews, I do trailer reactions and film reviews of Indian cinema. All right, I know I'm late to the party. This film has been out for some time. In fact, my friends Catherine and Harsha of the Palandini Patti podcast discussed this film on our Best of Malayalam Cinema of 2022 video. I can link in the doobly-doo. Wow. Okay. So I had an inkling of what this was about. Domestic violence comedy. Okay. I know this film has been out for a while, but I'm going to have a spoiler-free section, and then I'm going to have a spoiler section at the end where I really talk about some of the things that happen in the plot. And as I was watching it, I started to remember the discussion that we had, like I said, with Catherine and whatever. But still, there were certain moments that I literally gasped out loud. This is a film by director Vipin Das, and I think he's new to me. I don't think I've seen either of his other two projects. It stars Darshana Rajendran as Jaya of the title, and Basil Joseph, actor-director, plays her husband. There's a very fun cameo by Aju Varghese as her college professor / ex-boyfriend. So the casting, okay. I don't know how to get around all these things that I want to say without being spoiling. First half of the movie, when Basil Joseph, as the husband Rajesh, reveals his true nature after the marriage, was extremely difficult for me to watch. And the first time he really explodes against Jaya, she's shocked. I literally gasped out loud. Like, I don't know, there's something about Basil Joseph's face, like you just don't expect what happened to happen. Okay? Like you don't expect, and it was really hard because it didn't just happen one time. It happened multiple times, and it was very difficult. But I do think the meaning behind that led to when the wife takes a certain action in response, finally, it is even more impactful. And I'm trying so hard not to spoil what it is. It is very impactful when it happens, and the ending then becomes picture perfect. Picture perfect. So we're just shown over and over again. I mean, there's actually like the kind of montage that we frequently see of the backstory of a character, their birth, early childhood, and at first we're seeing what seems to be just adoring parents, and then they replay those same scenes, and it's like the commentary is instead, not, oh, you're such a delicate girl, you can't play outside, but go inside, who told you could play out here? She's constantly getting put down. She wants to study a certain subject matter, anthropology, interestingly, in college, and this marriage is arranged with the promise that she'll be able to continue her studies after marriage. Well, her marriage becomes this stultifying, and what was presented at the bridal meeting and what her reality is are two very different things. I am just in awe of this director and this script, and how I just couldn't wrap my mind really around how can such a serious subject be treated in a comedic way, but that's how you really reach people, right? Because they're like, everyone would want to come and see a comedy with Basil Joseph, right? And so you get people in the door to the theater, and then they watch this film, which is extremely entertaining. And the subversion is, You're rooting for this woman in her very everyday desires of what she wants. Okay, like, this is not some crazy thing that she wants. She wants to live. She wants to live life. She wants to be able to study. She wants to be able to better herself. She wants to have autonomy. In fact, I was having a text chat with someone today, someone who had watched the film, and, you know, I knew that this person had been a victim of domestic violence in her first marriage. And I was like, how did you make it through that first half hour? Like, how did you make it through? And she said that it was very cathartic. Like, you know, she didn't have a problem with it at all. It just made what happens in the second part of the film just that much more cathartic and satisfying for her. I kind of skirted around what happens, but it's a fantastic film. It's an absolutely fantastic film. Super impressed. Loved it. Loved the acting. Loved Basil Joseph's comedic timing. I just loved this film, and I can't recommend it enough. If you haven't already seen it, I think it's playing on Disney Hotstar in India. Here in the United States, it's playing on Hulu, on the Hulu streaming channel. Okay, now I have kind of, you know, skirted around all of these things, but this is a spoiler section. Okay, like that first slap that happens, she's stunned. I'm not kidding that I literally went, like, it was so violent. Oh my God. I mean, obviously this film is sort of like Great Indian Kitchen, but with comedy, okay? Like, you're feeling the injustice and the oppression that this wife is feeling in this stultifying marriage of this guy that won't even let his family cook something different, you know, for dinner or anything. Like, he just always has to have the same thing. And just the repetition, slaps her, then takes her out to a movie, tries to make it up by taking her out to dinner, but yet doesn't let her order what she would like to eat. She has to eat chicken. Oh, well, I sell chickens to this restaurant, so we have to. Like, setting it up, it's like, this is this pattern that happens. And when she finally, like, you're like, okay, she's just in her own world. She's watching the YouTube videos or whatever, right? But when you realize she's been training herself in martial arts and she gives him that kick, oh my God, the impact of it, right? One of my favorite scenes was after he's so sore from her kick to his stomach that he's talking, he can barely walk, and he's talking with his co-workers, and, you know, his employees, and they're like, it's late, aren't you going to go home? And he's trying to avoid anything but to go home and face her again, right? And then he kind of says, well, it was a kick. And then they, oh, of course, all assume, because they know him, they're like, oh, you better take her to the hospital. Wow, you could have had there could be internal bleeding. You could really mess things up. There could be a blood clot. You could just see his mind whirling with, wow, that was a brilliant scene. I absolutely, just the whole setup, just showing how no one in her family was supportive. I did like how the brother kind of came around and really helped her when she left. That was great. And just so completely delicious what happened in the last 10 minutes of the film. Oh my God. Not only of her buying the other chicken farm and becoming his business competitor, but that final fight scene with all of his employees was just like, wow. All right. Hats off to you, Vipin Das. This was an amazing film. So many people had recommended it, and I finally got around to seeing it, and I'm so glad that I did. I would love to know your thoughts in the comments below about this movie. And if you've seen this director's other work, let me know what you recommend. Follow me on Twitter at PerdesiYT. Follow me on Instagram at PerdesiReviews. And if you hit the bell here when you subscribe, you'll never miss another trailer action or film review.